Yo,
Are we 2-2 for talking about esports things? Is that what's happening now?
yeah, I'm back on the horse.
Okay.
We gotta get these test shows going.
You mean obviously
Um,
metaphorically, and so that's not an allegory for heroin or anything, right?
what are you doing? We're
Horse,
only two shows in.
horse.
No.
That horse is a nickname for heroin. It's a
Yes.
street name. You know that. Come on.
Okay.
Of course you know.
Yeah.
Of course you know that.
No, that's chasing the dragon.
No, no. Yeah, you chase the dragon, but yeah, you get on the horse, man.
Well, if
The
that's
skag.
I'm more of a dragon guy if I'm
Okay.
trying to on the come up. If I'm already on the up and up,
Yeah, well,
that's
that is
where
that
I'm
is why
running.
you're that
I'm
is why
already
you're
running.
hot rod, man. That is why you are the hot rod, and I'm the big dick. So like you're calling me to argue about the Saudi stuff?
Yeah, I just it kind of spice things up. Look, I think everyone understands Saudi bad. We're at that point, right? There doesn't need to be any more further explanation of why this whole thing has been a catastrophe.
Right.
Aside though from that, I actually
You're just here to
so
defend
I
Ben.
yes, but I think you're too hard on him. You're too fucking hard on him, Richard. What are
I'm
you doing?
I'm
You know what?
right.
You know what it was. You know what it is. You know what it is. Um, yes, he's being naive, and yes, he's being stupid. And I think that your reply to him is totally accurate in
It
how
is
you in terms of like how this event is put on for all those fucking dipshits on LinkedIn. Like that's who this event is for, even though
correct.
it's made into everybody because there's no escaping this entire thing. The issue I had with that is the working for Forge and Forge, having Ralph being an investor there and all that shit. I mean, look,
Not relevant.
okay, it is, but one, Ben really is sincere. I don't believe that he is saying he really wants the Esports World Cup to succeed because of some Ford shit. I think that has literally zero to do with it. I really just think he is always,
I think the fact I think I'm not saying it's like a big
looked
reason.
up
I
to
think the
Esports.
fact he's like in a business relationship effectively
I know it's not a
with
look.
Ralph Reichart certainly is going to help if he was ever conflicted, get him over the line. This is what I mean
Sure,
about the mafia
it
of
would
the
be
mediocre, bro. This is what it's like. It's like Ralph Reichart, fucking. You walk into the EWC offices these days, or as it was at ESL, and he's just there in a chair stroking a cat. Oh, so I understand you want me to turn on the money tap, and yet when ESL was struggling, you didn't come to me at all. And that's what he's doing right now. All this ESL stuff is basically like, I mean, I'm blacklisted officially blacklisted. They will never give me an official comment ever again about anything to do with ESL, Savvy, Face It, DreamHack, the Esports World Cup. That's that. I can't go to any of their
that's not
events.
very nice. Wait, wait,
No,
wait. You can't go to the events. You can't go to an ESL event.
no. I put some feelers out, and basically it was a no.
There is okay. I can believe everything up until this. Can we test it out? You know how Dave Portnoy would go to the Super Bowl
Mm,
and then he had to go in an outfit and then Commissioner Goodell because he always talks shit about Commissioner Goodell all the time
yeah.
and then they found him and they literally dragged the police dragged him out of the venue like with like four different cops, one with each leg and one with
Here's
each
the
arm.
thing, though.
Can we
That's the
can we test
NFL.
that theory for here?
Yeah, if you want to test that theory with
I
the
think it would
NFL,
take
that's fine.
it
If
would
I
take more than
test it with the
four
Saudi
cops, right?
Arabian state, mate,
Can four cops do
you're
it?
you're gonna be listening. You're gonna be listening to a fucking video recording of strangely suspicious soaring noises, and that's gonna be whatever happened to Richard Lewis. Oh, I don't know. He went offline one day. So yeah, I'm good actually. I'm good. We don't need to test this theory out.
Wait, 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 wait.
I'll take them at their word.
You're talking about like the EWC event specifically. I mean like ESL Cologne
They're,
or whatever.
it's all the
That's what I
same
mean.
thing, man.
Okay, if you could go to the IEM Dallas event and not feel threatened that you're going to disappear,
It
Richard.
it it's
Okay,
it's
are
fine.
you are the Cowboys going to find you? Is this going to be old old country for no men
Mm.
type of thing? You're
Uh,
gonna
yeah, I mean, no,
they're gonna hunt you down.
put it this way: they are seething. It has been communicated to me. They are seething. They hate what I've done. The last straw was what I did for June, by contacting every single sponsor. I contacted Intel. I contacted Visit Malta or whatever, that fucking tourist board that sponsors the ESL Pro League. And I'm like, your fucking logo is going to be on a tournament in fucking Riyadh. By the way, if you're fucking Visit Malta, spoiler, they're not even promoting Malta on the fucking stream at the event that's in Malta. They're promoting a Saudi Arabian city called Qadiyah. What's up with that? And by the way, it's just deafening silence. Messaging Intel. Hey, Intel, don't you put up all that money for like women's rights things, and don't you celebrate Pride, and here's your logo as a rainbow? You're in business with the Savvy Games Group, man. And no, they've got nothing to say. Nothing to say.
I believe they have nothing to say. I just kind of want to see with my own eyes. Again, I was asking you if you think 4 cops could carry you out, or if it's going to take more than 4. I want to see
mate,
that
I'm
visual.
old.
I want to see you get carried out at IEM Dallas, like with fucking 4 Dallas cops on horses.
I mean, it'd be great footage. It would be a great way to launch the show.
Really, I think it would be great.
Be a great way.
By
to launch
the way,
the show.
I'll go there with you. You've definitely gone further than me, but I feel like I am not that far behind. So if I definitely have not been as maybe antagonistic personally to some of the people that you have been. So probably I get a little bit more leeway. But we could do it. We could duo.
Yeah, but
we could duo.
You've got your own little personal army to support you because you're pro Hamas.
No. The exception is that I have a tribe, out. I have an ace in the hole. Because I'm a Jew, if I go there and I cause problems, I could still be like, well, no, I'm actually super pro-Israeli Jew. We're on the same side. And I think that I might actually get like an exception. Same way my whole marriage worked. The only reason my wife's parents were okay with it is because I was Jewish and not just a white person, even though I'm not a real, as you can understand. The worst baby Jew you've ever met in your life. So, I could definitely play that card.
Bro, when we went out drinking, you wouldn't stop reciting the Torah. What are you talking about? But anyway, no. So give me the counter argument. Why do I have to give Ben a pass for the ridiculous things he said?
What do you mean? Well, for Ben?
Yeah.
No. It's just I just don't think that him working for Forge is actually influencing his opinion at all. I really just think he's puppy eyes. I love esports still. And he just happens to work for Forge. He works for a fucking company that Thresh is making about NFTs and crypto and AI and a bunch of other dumb shit. Okay? I think he's just stuck in Thresh's new thing. Thresh launches a new fucking company every 5 years, whether it was like Xfire back in the day and then Play something. Where it gave your stats and all that shit of like how many hours he played each game and all that. So he has a new company each fucking time. Now this is Thresh's new thing, and Ben is just there, and he loves esports. But I don't think like if he's indebted to fucking Ralph or anything. That's why he's like trying to excuse everything that's happened. He just like is in from talking to a lot of people in the industry, everyone is kind of in like a state of, I don't know, understanding that there is no going back. Things are screwed. In my point, because some mainstream media, I think, is picking up the criticism here that is, that has been happening, especially much more so since the Esports Wars announcement and all that shit. Is that like in golf, for example, they made the LIV to compete with the PGA because even though they are planning on merging it, or that was the plan initially at least, they didn't just like buy it out. In esports, they literally bought the whole fucking thing. It's worse than F1. It's worse than golf. It's worse than football. It's worse than the Saudi boxing shit they're doing. This is actually the most oppressive of any of the efforts that the Saudis have invested in terms of how much they just straight up own.
And I ask you a question, and it's a good one. Put my hand up, sir. I have a question for you. Mm-hmm. So, how were they able to do that?
Ralph takes a good. I mean, it's a complex.
I know the answer to this question.
Okay, I put a lot of it on Ralph and Craig, even though I've known those guys for a long time. They're the ones that were steering the ship for ESL. They're the ones that either didn't make things work at MTG or were not able to get the company into a profitable state because esports has always had issues in its finances, which again is a long fucking thing.
Mhm.
But ultimately, they're the ones that sold to MTG and put this whole thing in a spot where that the company could be sold to the PIF for 100%, all of it.
So
Um,
I'll tell you how we get to this point. It's because every single person running an esports entity, be it an org or a league tournament operator, a white label tournament operator, they spent years lying about the product they had, taking sponsor money, robbing Peter to pay Paul, desperately fighting to keep the fucking lights on long enough to dupe the VC companies when they came in. And almost all of these people now who were shilling for Saudi, they did that. And here's the problem. When the VC money turned up, okay, you did it. The grift. Well done. Some of these companies, you're talking 60 million, 100 million. Even some of the smaller esports orgs are just getting 10 million of seed money. Here you go. Have some of this. Right? Have some investment. Right? What did they do with it? They fucking pissed it up against the wall. Guys like Jack, guys like fucking Noah, guys like fucking Steve. They pissed it up against the wall, having dick measuring contests where they all thought they were fucking Jerry Jones, and they were all pretending that they were sports owners, paying insane salaries. 400,000, 500,000. Okay, guess what? We'll make it $1.2 million a year for a League of Legends player who could play their entire career for your organization and never generate a fraction of that value back. And they spunked all that money away. And then they've got the audacity to turn around and go, esports doesn't work though. And now, as they were there in the ruins, and by the rubble, and it was rubble created. They lit the fucking torch paper that blew this fucking scene up and ruined it. The only people that could bail them out were the likes of China, the likes of Saudi, the likes of Russia, etc., etc. We nearly had a good go. Hey, we'll just fucking scam all our fans with NFTs and crypto. We had a good run with that. Here's FTX. What does it say about how broken the industry was, by the way? That TSM didn't see the red flags for the FTX sponsorship deal. And then, by the way, Riot were so fucking dumb, they fucking usurped that sponsorship deal after telling TSM they couldn't have it initially, just so they could get in a room and have it for themselves. And then that went under, and Riot have accepted no culpability, no apology, walked away from it. Again, like a cool guy walking away from an explosion in a movie.
Those are the people, those are the entities that deserve, in my mind, the most amount of the anger and vitriol that many of us feel regarding everything. In my opinion, in terms of if we're having like a pyramid, especially if you put it in the context of like who's taking money from EWC this year, I put like talent and casters and even co-streamers, I think, are at the bottom. Okay, yeah, there's a bunch of hypocrisy from people who said things before. You went through that one guy who there are some funny ways that people are trying to like make statements about this. If everyone would just say it's a fuck ton of money, I had to do it, I would respect a lot of people more, and it would be so much easier to get by this. But then everyone tries to come up with all types of shit, and it backfires completely, and it's very entertaining for the rest of us. But I think that they're on the bottom. I really feel like, we could point some things out and you could be annoyed with them, but they're not really responsible for anything else going. They're just trying to make a living in this industry, which is fucked up by the other bigger entities.
Why do they have a right to make a living in this industry at the expense of everyone else who has principles?
I'm just saying in terms of the blame pyramid, okay? They're on the bottom. They're the least, for me, frustrating to have or no.
But not the owners, though. I mean, you can't say that about the owners. Like
the owners are the next The owners are the next part, okay? The
Yeah.
owners, as you mentioned, are directly responsible for inflating the valuations for of all their companies and organizations that aren't really teams, but they try to be teams, and now have been trying to pivot to influencer
Hmm.
management relations, all types of things that people have been trying to do with these companies has been overinflated and overvalued. And there's a couple particular owners, specifically that are part of it, especially from North America, that
Yep.
increase all their valuations. And yeah, they're part of the huge, reason that we are here where we are. And they are the other, I would say 40% of the people responsible for figuring out how to make money in esports.
Mm.
They're the ones, they are the teams, the quote unquote teams. They own quote unquote the player, own the players. They should have been able to figure out how they could drive revenue sometime at this point. It has been like 20, 30 years for some of these teams that want to talk about how they've been around forever. Their brand's been around forever, while revenue still has been pretty trash. But the very top of the pyramid, and I do not think gets enough of hate, honestly, still, really is the developers themselves.
Okay.
It's the publishers. They own the IP. They could do whatever they want. In the old days of esports, they never gave a fuck at all. You could do whatever. id Software and Valve fucking didn't even realize like tournaments were happening. They're like, CPL is going on. All right, whatever. You want to use Counter-Strike and Quake? Cool. There's no communication. Blizzard had zero to do with StarCraft becoming like a national sport in Korea
Correct. Yeah.
when 20,000 people were coming at the beach. Blizzard didn't even fucking know that was going on then. They were like kind of aware, and if they were like come out to see it, like when OSL was happening, like from the stands, and like, oh, this is fucking cool. Valve, id Software, and Blizzard didn't give a shit for the first 10 years of esports existing. And then, when you switched over to like, I don't know, 2011, and then again in like 2015, 2016, they all wanted fucking control of everything. And they wanted to do it all themselves. They wanted to build gigantic ass leagues like Activision Blizzard stuff and turn into franchising and turn this into, US sports, because that's all people understand here.
Yeah.
Get rid of relegation for everything and just try to Americanize the fuck out of everything and make as much money as possible. And as we see, that has completely failed in so many different ways to where we are here. I really feel like they are the biggest issue, and they are the biggest reason that we are here. If they want to be able to say that they own the IPs, and everyone makes the most money anyway, or all the organizations are trying to get money through, microtransaction splits and in-game skin sales, that's proven to be the best way so far for organizations to make money. And it's obvious as to how these games make money, like in general. It's how, like,
Sure. Yeah.
the games as a service became a thing primarily off of competitive multiplayer games and esports games, because they're on all the time and you can get skins and you can buy cool shit. And, that's become standard over time. So if that's the only way that they've been able to make money, that's directly related and influenced from the publishers and developers. They are the ones that have fucked this up for 25 years. First, they didn't care. Then they cared, or they quote unquote cared so much that they thought they knew what they were doing, and they didn't want to listen to the people who've been doing it forever. They tried to do it themselves, and they failed again. And now we are in this state where no one can make any fucking money, and they're the ones that have sold out to EWC. EWC can only exist because every single publisher and developer was like, okay, you can use our game.
Yeah. Well,
If any of them decided that they didn't want the games to be used, then that none of this could have happened. Activision Blizzard could have said no to Call of Duty. The only reason that Valorant isn't there is because of a scheduling issue. So Riot capitulated as well. Their promotion is not as distinct as the other games. I believe like the Riot. I haven't seen the Riot Games logo on anything. It is like a little bit different in terms of the way that Riot has tried to stay away, but ultimately League of Legends is going to debut as the beginning of the tournament, and Valorant would be there. So every major developer has said, okay, here, you can use our games. Fortnite's even there, even though Epic doesn't have a official partnership with ESL. They're still okay with Rocket League and Fortnite being there. So everyone basically essentially said, sure. So for me to hate really on the team owners or the players that are attending or the casters or whatever, no. The publishers, they ultimately own everything. They could have said no. Any of the 10
Well,
game publishers could have
let
said
me
no, and they didn't.
let me give you a counter to that, right, and explain why while I agree, games developers could easily have taken some sort of stand on any and all of this and haven't. Let's also just kind of say why I think ultimately you could put them adjacent to the team owners, but I'll explain why I believe that. So first of all, the thing you've got to remember is with these faceless fucking corporations that just want to make money. That's all corporations are geared to do. They are never going to take a stand that's going to keep them out of a territory where they want to do business. And, we've seen this. So, for example, think about, I don't know, name a car company like Honda or Kia, right? And they do like some cringeworthy fucking Super Bowl ad about like, oh, they drive now, whatever. And it's like all like LARPing as like progressive Berkeley bullshit. Well, they go and open a factory in fucking Riyadh a month later. And they don't think anything of that. And no one even thinks to call them out of it. And everyone's kind of hit this like almost world-weary acceptance. Corporations just want to make money. And they will always argue, we can't afford to be ethical. We have a fiduciary duty to our investors, partners, and shareholders. And by the way, that term fiduciary duty has been used as a shield to deflect criticism for all sorts of vile fucking money-making schemes and practices around the world for all these corporations that use fucking slave labor, and I'm not just talking about like China, where some worker can't fucking handle how many hours they've got to work, so they throw themselves out of a window only to find that they've installed suicide nets to catch them, right? So they don't die and have to go back to work, as happened in a factory where Apple products were made. I'm talking about genuine child slave labor gaining, minerals in, like unsafe mines where there's just cave-ins and just 100 kids just die, right? And by the way, that's just going to this company over here, and then they're going to tell you how much the Black Lives matter to them. Just not the Black Lives in Africa that are dying, right, to get them the minerals they need. That's corporations. And on a lesser scale with video games, Activision Blizzard and Valve, they've already proven they're not going to take a stand for that. We've had what's going on in the Xinjiang Autonomous Region with the Uyghur Muslims. I mean, could it be, how can an American...
And Blitzchung? The entire Blitzchung incident was because they wanted to keep going in China.
Correct. And then they fucked it up anyway. Well, because Bobby Kotick was trying to fucking sabotage the sale or something. Who fucking knows what went on there? But so think about it. Then, right? Could it be any more on the nose and easier for an American to understand? In China, there is a part of the country where they take one specific exclusive ethnicity, put them in camps, re-education camps, where they are forced to pick cotton. Guys, and you're going to just say, well, it's complicated. Is it? Seem to remember some other analogous moments in history that it's not complicated. Why is it complicated now? Oh, it gets complicated when they want to make the bag. And so Valve do business in China. Valve cooperate with the Chinese government to create their own version of Steam, which has about 60 games on it. Right? Because everything has to be approved by the ministry. So when were developers ever going to say no to Saudi? No, of course not. Why start an international incident? And by the way, you just point at the sign, fiduciary duty. Taps the sign, fiduciary duty. We got a fiduciary duty.
Valve's a private company.
Yeah, Valve is a private company, and they got a fiduciary duty to the motherfucking selves, and that's how that's and that is how they're gonna fucking sell it, right? So I never had any expectation on the developers.
They don't need it.
Say. But by the way, I have made a public call for Valve. Why wouldn't you want to deprive these people that have literally done this as a response to they said you can't have any entanglement and we need partnered leagues to end because you're killing our ecosystem and we want it done by 2025. And they know that the Esports World Cup is one big fuck you to Valve because now all of those teams taking the stipend, they've all got entanglement with the business. It is essentially a partnered league. It is essentially a franchise league. The Esports World Cup exists only to serve them and the Saudi Arabian state interests. So why doesn't Valve turn around and go, if you're in the Esports World Cup, you can't attend a major? No stick of money for you. Why don't they do that? So I agree with you to some degree. Yeah, developers have to accept some of the blame, but I had no expectation of Activision Blizzard or Riot to ever do the right thing.
No.
Are we serious?
No, of course not. And I do think Valve even does get some credit. I don't know if this has been like officially reported, but the rumor I think that, maybe probably both of us have heard was that like ESL, since the sale to the Saudis, that was a big reason they did not get a Counter-Strike major for 2 full years.
Yeah, I did hear that. Yeah.
And that was why all the other, tournament organizers were able to do the majors. Valve did insert a penalty to EFG and didn't award them their prime event. So I feel like they've even done a little more. They get a tiny bit of fucking credit of actually trying to put their influence a little bit, but they are the way that they are for Valve. So they are basically do whatever. Everyone can do whatever they want with their IP. Even the fucking, even MBS, you can fucking use the game. All right. It's okay. That is kind of the way that they roll, even though they would be the ones that could do it more than anyone else. No, I don't have any fucking belief in Activision Blizzard or Riot to do the right thing in this case. And yes, I think fiduciary duty is a good way to put the team owners and them at the same time. For me, if the game developers are the ones that are controlling the most of the revenue generation of the game, and they are then directly responsible for the lack of money, therefore, that esports has been able to make, is truly their fault. Look, I could always blame the Cloud9s and the Team Liquids and the 100 Thieves and the Phases for individually fucking up all of their different and EG especially. Gotta make sure I don't forget that one. That's on the top of the list of destroying their value of their own organization by self-inflicted means. And then a lot of that also is the current market situation. But I really do believe that we are in the state that we are now because the publishers have just dropped the ball so hard in terms of making this work.
Another question at this juncture.
Because, look, okay, yes.
Another question, sir, right? Put my hand up. This is the White House press briefing room where we are respectful. So, sir, here's a question. Is it Riot Games' fault that TSM gave $6 million to Sword Art? Yes or no? Right? I don't want to fucking hear it, because when you blame the developers, you're covering for the owners, and the owners are fucking cretins. Okay. They are cretins.
I know how to spin this. Riot somehow gave all North American League of Legends fans Stockholm Syndrome and have made them believe, since they started the LCS almost 10 years ago, that they had ever a chance of winning a world championship. And because everyone has believed so hard that, just like American soccer fans, that we will definitely 100% eventually win a World Cup or a Copa de America or a Worlds, that paying $6.5 million for Sword Art, the Chinese player, to come in and carry the team, was good for America, and therefore it was good for North American League of Legends, and therefore it was good for League of Legends esports overall, because if an American team were to ever win, that would be the best possible timeline for Riot. Riot could then milk, if we even got to the finals, if a North American team even got to the fucking finals, if they even made the semifinals a competitive series versus like a T1 or a Gen G, then yes, okay, Riot could use all that as the money-making machine to try to lift NALCS off of its lifeless legs and give it some viewership and engagement, and they'd market the shit out of that and sell probably more jerseys and raise valuations. So Sword Art at that time was a great Great choice.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I
That work?
remember we all lined the streets in the UK when London Spitfire did well with their Korean team. I remember it distinctly. You know. So if an American org fucking used Chinese skill to win something, I like. I mean, mind you, they do chant USA for fucking Cloud9, and they got a Russian lineup. So I mean,
Yeah,
fucking anything goes. Right?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, Team Liquid still gets USA chance in League of Legends. I don't
Mm,
think there's one play. Is there one player? I,
don't know.
I know. I think they had one. Was Double Lift? Was he the only American player in the team lately? Pretty sure the entire team. There was two Korean players and two
Good old
European
double
players.
grift, dude. So look, back to
The only American League of Legends team was EG, and they abuse their players. So
back to the Saudi stuff. Let's stay. Right, this is Big Dick. The hot rod runs around the racetrack, but the big dick is fucking keeping us on the right path. So why why like I mean listen, why should I be giving like a pass to any of this? Like, I mean, the criticism, like, is there a point where I should stop criticizing it? Is there a point where I should just hit the stage of grief that is acceptance over the death of esports as I knew it?
Well, you are a man of,
Taste and refinement. Yeah, I know.
yes. So, like, you and your values, you have so far only worked for PGL. And guess what?
Mm-hmm.
My only consulting has been for PGL
Mm-hmm.
in terms of a league. And I think we both kind of agree on why PGL is like the singular kind of tournament organizer that we would want to work with, like, officially. And kind of that is just the reality. That kind of really is the reality now.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that should make us feel and how that should make us do our coverage. Okay, because I have a question for you.
Okay.
And I told other people to ask me this because I know I would have a tough time. Are you going to watch any VWC?
No.
Zero.
Not 1 minute. Other than when I'm doing a stream
minute.
to show why Jake Lucky is the biggest fucking whore in esports. They're the only clips I'm gonna see.
Did you watch the opening ceremony? Did you see that fucking trophy key?
Oh, I mean, I
for
saw
the
them
ball?
unveil the giant golden penis. I sang a little song about it earlier.
Okay. Did you see the dancers?
No. I've seen none of that.
I gotta say that I feel like that is worth watching. No lie.
Why?
Okay, that is a grandstand. Not even watching the tournament, I think, is a strong stance because it will be just based on the competition, and if they have things fall right in terms of like the bracket, they will be one of the best tournaments of the year. I'm not talking about like
The formats suck.
circumstances.
The
here.
formats suck.
Yeah,
It's all
but
one
you're not-
big business relationship. The competition, you can't
The
even.
formats are okay.
The formats.
They're not terrible.
Have you seen the format for CS, bro?
They're not. It's single limb, right?
Well, yeah, but also, so it's 15 teams go into a fucking play-in. You have a best of one. The winners go into a play-in with the team from the Asian region, and then they whittle it down to then you get best of three. Like, it's fucking garbage. I went over it on a podcast with Maui and Duncan, and it is fucking trash. And I mean, look, in general, the formats aren't great, but I mean, just forget that for 1 second. How can I?
Well, you're looking at one game, okay? I'm following all of the games, as a
Yeah, no,
true
but
esports player.
I'm not following all of the games to talk about not following all of the games. I'm looking
really
at all
ready
of
for
the.
Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Listen,
are you not?
Bro,
Are you not cultured?
people on this stream saw
Mobile?
me watching the Vitality fucking announcement when they unveiled their women's mobile Bang Bang team, and we all rejoiced. We were happy. We were like, they drive now. It's just great. We had a great time.
As an EWC partner, specifically to watch Tekken 8 and Street Fighter 6. I know you have a lot of love
Yeah, well, don't even get me
for the
started on that,
FGC,
homie. Oh,
and
the
I feel
super woke, we're progressive, no Nazis in our games, get Richard Lewis out of the FGC crew, all fucking couldn't drop to their knees fucking quick enough to fillet the fucking Saudi takeover of the FGC. And credit to, like, I highlighted it on another stream where it was like guys like Sajam at least have come out and gone, I'm not working that event, and blah blah blah. But he's few and far between, and very much like the Dota community, Dota fans don't care. The Dota fans go, yeah, but it's this or no Dota, so fuck it. We'll take the blood money. Actually, FGC exactly the same.
I haven't seen what the talent is like for Street Fighter. I would think that a bunch
has it been announced?
I don't actually think so. I have a feeling that maybe more of the top people won't be doing it than just Sajam.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I would see a bunch of them sticking to it, but the players, I mean, of course. The funny thing about like Street Fighter and even like Overwatch, that they actually have some incredible Saudi players. Those are the two games that actually deserve
Saudi Arabia reigning World Cup champions, mate.
Yeah,
in Overwatch.
And I think that's actually the fucked up part, is all this overshadows. And that even somehow in a fucked up way, if in China, Tencent at least is a private company.
Theoretically. It is till it isn't.
Theoretically.
It is till it isn't.
Well, they are making so much money that even, their CEO founder can disappear at any time. I feel like that actually gives me a little bit of hope that, of course Tencent is still kind of like a gigantic monopoly that fucking owns everything too, but it's still not the Chinese government, sort of. There is a little bit of a line there. I feel a tiny bit better that Tencent is running it than the Saudi government. But yeah, any of the real Saudi players there can't have a tournament that they can be celebrated for them just playing the game because of everything else that's happening.
Well, yeah, no, I definitely agree with that, because look, I remember back in the day when we first tried to expand into the Middle East, we did it way too soon. I mean, for those that probably don't remember, there was in CGS we had a Ghost franchise that was meant to exist, but in the end, they weren't formally like codified or ratified, I should say, rather, until the league had collapsed, and they were called Dubai Mirage. And they were playing people, and they were scrimming and participating in like what was ostensibly the CGS ecosystem and all of that stuff. They had teams, and they called themselves Dubai. They never existed. They were a fucking mirage. That's like the irony. And we've had events in Dubai and other parts of the Middle East historically. Events in Blasters had an event in Bahrain as well, which is another problem in and of itself. But we've already tried to expand into this territory once, and we fucked it up, and we've had to withdraw. I never had an issue with it nominally, because back then it wasn't being funded by their government. It was being funded by tournament operators that just wanted to increase their market share. And I have no problem with that. I have no problem with you privately going to that country and serving up a tournament to the people who live there. And I understand there'll probably have to be some compromises made for local laws. I'm not a maniac, but once you start taking money from these tyrannical states, these despotic regimes that violate human rights, I got a problem with it. And I got an even bigger problem with it if you were the same cunts that were raising money by beating everybody over the head about how you care about women's rights and you care about the furtherment of gay rights. Because when you do business with a regime that persecutes those groups, and in some cases executes those groups, you clearly don't care. And so I want to hear you fucking say it. I want to hear that. I go away tomorrow, by the way. If any of these entities in this fucked up, ridiculous project publicly come out and just admit we never cared about those things and we've only ever cared about money, and we will say anything we need to make money, I'll shut up. I'll never talk about it again. Right? But they won't.
Yeah.
They won't. Because what you're doing there is, well, you're going to rule yourself out when the grift has to swing back the other way. and we have to go to like all the Berkeley set and be, oh, I know we did business with Saudi Arabia for 3 years, but they've realized esports is a broken fucking industry and they've gone now. So we need more money from you. I promise we'll spend it on like women's teams and that. Can we have some money, please, Intel? Yeah, fuck it, man. It's like, it's it's like that's the thing that's really reprehensible about it all. But I agree. Obfuscating and obscuring the actual achievements of Saudi Arabian gamers is just another fucked up part of it. I mean, I don't know how. It would obviously have to be on a case-to-case basis. I don't know how much they would really care about it. I don't know how savvy the average Saudi Arabian citizen is about sports washing or what the world thinks about the Saudi Arabian state. I have no frame of reference. I can tell you about, suppression of information in, like, Russia, for example. I don't know much about how that is disseminated in Saudi Arabia, but it looks to be very much like your archetypal totalitarian regime where information is carefully filtered, curated, and anything that insults beloved leader is fucking not only not going to be aired, anyone trying to air it or share it is going to be prosecuted and executed.
So would anyone who watches it be hypocritical? What do you think about watching it?
Is watching it hypocritical? I mean,
watching the event. And does it matter? Okay, what if you were watching a pirated stream? If you didn't give them a view, is that any better?
I mean, yeah, maybe. I mean, look, I put it this way. I get the complexity of the tightrope we have to walk. Like, here I am.
Ad block on. How many ad blocks do I need for this to be okay?
I watch the UFC. It's compromised, right? And they don't care about it. But
$49.99 every week.
I mean, yeah. Well, maybe, maybe. Oh, I mean.
Okay, no, I'm always above board here.
But I'm saying, have I given money to the UFC even after they've become compromised? Yeah. I mean, I've tried to be as good as I can with it. Like, Newcastle got bought by the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund. I haven't paid to watch a single game. I haven't bought a ticket to the stadium since. Haven't bought a jersey, a shirt. Haven't bought any Newcastle merchandise. And ultimately, I'm becoming disillusioned with the Geordie experience, and I'm looking at more grassroots options, maybe Gateshead, the Heed Army. None of that means anything to you, but that's fine. So, I mean, look, I get it, but yeah, is it hypocritical? No, the mechanism of hypocrisy is that if you say, I find all of this stuff reprehensible, shiny fireworks display, shooty bang bang video game, I'm going to watch it, and then they get to fold your number into, by the way, no matter how bad this does for viewership, they are going to tell you it was a success and they broke records. They've been doing this. They've been doing this the entire time as well. We're back to this. We're back to the old days of like Chinese viewer numbers. They're probably viewbotting their own fucking stream, right? Like, who fucking knows?
I can see it. I mean, they're buying co-streams. They are paying so much money for people to watch the opening ceremony yesterday, and they're continuing with more today.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I've no doubt about it.
Next few weeks,
I mean, just think about, like, right, nobody gives a shit about this on Twitter, which was Ben's point, his initial point, which he's right about. I haven't seen anything across my timeline, and I follow a lot of the shills, and it's just like Jake Lucky's just there, like, look, they've got drones, they fly now, and it's like getting like 6 retweets or something, and it's like, ugh, yeah. Great. I mean, I dread to think how much they've paid that fucking fool.
Okay, so like once the tournament is over, right? You would not if the plan would be not to acknowledge it or engage.
Correct.
Or cover
Like, if I was
happened.
still doing by the numbers with Duncan, we would not be talking about this.
I'm just trying to get back to your question of how much you should keep fighting this. Does all of this extend to ESL? Or is ESL and DreamHack events grandfathered in because we have just been covering them and been around them for so long and they have such an international already standing?
So, Yeah.
that they get an exception?
The way I work it in my brain is this. I criticize Savvy and ESL and all of the people who participate ruthlessly. But there is a slight difference, and it might only be slight, but it is important. It's all controlled by the same money. Savvy, ESL, all that bullshit, and obviously the Esports World Cup. And they're already at the stage where it's like we can see certain orgs getting special treatment, let's say, based on their affiliations. And that will now be the norm because that is how Saudis do business, by the way. They don't believe in disclosures and they don't believe in conflict of interest. They just believe in what's good for business. That is and they're very upfront about it. And, again, maybe you think that's a good thing, maybe you think it's a bad thing, if you're listening, whatever. So, the Gamers 8 Now Esports World Cup is a spectacle specifically designed to hypnotize the population. Remember, this is twofold. They're sports washing in an international level to say, like, look at us. I mean, like, it's not just like, oh, how bad can the Saudis really be? They like me for real. They like video games. There's that aspect to it. But also, if you do business with them, I've bought your silence, quite literally. Because if you say anything, not only will we cut off the money spigot, there's a chance you might be prosecuted or punished in some way. So there's that, right? But then the other aspect of it is they looked over at what happened in Iran with the killing of that girl by the morality police and how the people said, right, enough's enough. Fuck this. And that situation was very hairy for all of the fucking mullahs and all of that over there. They were fucking, this could get nasty. And they were just murdering people in the streets. It's one of the great failings of Western media that they spent more time screeching about Trump and barely highlighting any of what was going in Iran. We let down the Iranian people on that one big time. And by the way, if we consider Iran to be an existential enemy, shouldn't we be trying to help and support the people that are trying to overthrow those fucking enemies? But we didn't. We completely betrayed the Iranian people while they were having their moment. That could have been another Arab Spring. And I'll tell you why. Because the media don't want you getting any fucking ideas about your own kind of Arab Springs, right? So that's that. So Saudi looked at that and thought, we don't want that to happen to us. And so they made a number of compromises, mysteriously including the removal of their own morality police. Oh my me, it's almost like I know what I'm talking about. But then also the other thing that they know is they have a young population. It's about like 68% of their population are like under fucking 30 or something. It's crazy. There's so many kids, big families. And what do they want? They want jobs. They want tech jobs, right? They want all the entertainments and pleasures that the Westerners get. They want the WWE, they want the boxing, they want the sports, they want the spectacles. They want the jobs associated with creating those spectacles and events and moments. And so this event in Riyadh, the runoff into Qadiyah, the Esports Awards, all of this stuff, it is all designed to placate their population. It is bread and circuses for the Saudi people. And when you consider many of those Saudi people that will not be aware of like kind of, the machinations of the Saudi Arabian government, they are going to be the people that are oppressed by their own state. So this event is a little bit more sinister than just your average IEM. That's my thoughts on it.
I mean, I echo everything you said.
Oh, good. That's rare.
Really.
Right, anyway, Israel-Palestine. I'm just kidding.
And I do think also that the history of both of these companies, they've been merged and they've been sold out and destroyed from the inside a lot of what they used to be.
Yeah, completely.
They're not just EW. It's not EWC. Just EWC actually is even more sinister, especially for people who've been around from the old days, because they bought out the brand of ESWC,
yes,
which
correct.
Everyone
they bought out ESWC not to use it, but to avoid any confusion. They don't even allude to the legacy of that tournament. You know, and by the way, the publishing company that Webedia that owned the Esports World Cup brand in the portfolio, they must have done some sort of deal with the Esports World Cup because their publications keep talking about how great this fucking tournament in Riyadh is. Isn't that weird? You can see it in multiple languages in Germany and France and Spanish, Italian. It's fucking crazy. So, I mean, the Esports World Cup is sinister because essentially it's the same dickheads that had ESL running on fumes. Now they get to install their people over there to give out the bag, and they're also allowing all of the little orbiters that propped up ESL and agreed to the Louvre agreement and all this other fucked up shit. They're allowing them to be part of it and get the bag from that too. And I'm talking some people are working on the panel. Then you've got the Qiddiya board, which is saying we want to employ 100,000 people. If you've had a job in esports and you're unemployed right now, hit us up. And I've looked at the people on that Qiddiya board. It is a who's who of abject failures. It's the guy, the former owner of Heroic that caused all of the fucking issues and then was exiled essentially in disgrace. It's the guy that handled the optic purchase by Infinite. These guys are clowns, but they're clowns who are going to make millions. So is it sinister? Yeah, I mean, it's like this is like the ultimate failing upward, and all you have to do is kiss the Ralph Rijkaard Pope ring, and you're fucking good. So yeah, it's like say I call it the mafia of the mediocre for a reason. Soon this will be all of esports. So, I mean, you know, like as far as I'm concerned, the esports that we knew, that we came up with, it is dead. It is dead, and it's going to be dead for a long time. I don't even know if it will ever be resurrected. I don't know if it'll ever roll away the fucking stone and esports is risen. Like, I've been joking about it on stream, but unironically, like, the thing to do now is to go and get into other esports, maybe even other sports that need, you know, their grassroots. They need good, experienced people with followings to come in and help elevate them. That's what they need. I've been joking about Farming Simulator, but why not? The GeoGuessr World Cup, why not? Launders did it. That's pretty rad, in my opinion.
That shit is really cool.
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
I did. Launders actually got me into it.
And Paula was hosting. With Rachel. Yeah, correct, and it was. I was way more entertained by what's the big guy's name? The best player.
Oh, I mean, I couldn't name any of the players, bro. It was just like fucking. I was just sat there like sort of agog at how are they doing this shit? Like they just like zoom in. It's this city. Right, okay. You got that by looking at a shrub. But it's what I mean. It's like, yeah, like there should be fucking
Rainbow. Rainbow. Rainbow's like the fucking goat of finding random towns in the middle of the world.
Mm-hmm.
It is incredible. I never thought that was possible.
Do you want to know what else I did? I don't know if I should ever admit this, but you know, it wouldn't be an episode of fucking Big Dick in the Hot Rod if we weren't getting a little bit. You know, sometimes you have to be vulnerable and risk the embarrassment to get that good content, right? So I contacted and they never responded. So I don't know if I got like a dead email or they just thought I was a lunatic. But I wrote like an email to the Slap Fight Championship guys, and
I love that.
And I was like, please, can I get in on this? I'll do anything. I've been on TV, me. Please. And it was like, I just had dreams of like me and Mark Coleman doing the fucking commentary. You know, it's a clubbing violation,
Oh, no, I thought you wanted to compete.
No, fuck no. Definitely not, man. I've only got 2 more years of a working brain and then I'm going to be fully Bidened out of my mind probably. But, no, I mean, like, doing the commentary, dude, or the announcing or something, right? Because I don't want to do the Dana White one, Power Slap or whatever it's called. That's Fugazi. I want to do the OG. I want to do the Slap Fight Championships, man.
Wait, it's not the same thing? I thought he just bought out, like, the
OG. No, there's two. So it's like an AEW, WWE thing.
Oh.
You dig? So I don't want
WCW, WCW,
because basically,
thing.
like, basically the slap fight championships are fucking great because it's like two fucking like I don't know, like put it this way, they're all like meth heads from trailer parks, right? And they have like some fucking insane like just names, you know. And they basically, it's like the commentary is all this when they're introducing them, and they're like going like, oh, and this is, you know, fucking Slap Lord, and he's 10 days sober today, so let's give it up for him. And then he just has to get slapped gratuitously in the face, possibly to the point of unconsciousness, for the entertainment of about 50 people. It's fucking brilliant. I love it. I love it. It's perfect. It's actually, but the power slap one, it's like they're trying. I mean, like Dana White.
Yeah, dude.
Dana
I saw
White
some
was saying it's the biggest, fastest growing thing he's ever been associated with. And it's like, that can't be true. But he's saying it is.
Yeah, he was saying that like more people were liking it and watching it than like European football.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
everyone's like, okay,
nah, bro.
Okay, bro. I saw a video today of like some bodybuilding guy got slapped by like the power slap champion, but I was reading the comments and everyone was saying that like he did it like kind of like an illegal slap and like slapped the shit out of this fucking guy.
Well, that's the beauty of it, right?
Great.
A clubbing violation, as it's called in the business, can still absolutely murk you. and then you've got to stand up, and then you get a free, you know, if they've done 2 violations, you get a free shot, so you get 2 slaps like unanswered. But it's like you're still fucked from the club, bro. I saw, right? They did an amateur, because I legit watched this shit. They did an amateur UK slap fight championship, right? Amateur slap fighting. Can you even imagine the creatures that crawled out of the bars to come and get like £50? They were all scousers, pretty much. And anyway, this one guy karate chopped this guy's carotid artery. It was fucking metal, dude. He just like went, what? Woosa! Fucking caught in there. The guy was just on the floor. They had this guy. He was just a fat, bald gammon. And he had like a fake like band for like, you know, the Red Cross to like make it look like he was medically trained. No fucking chance. No chance. This guy couldn't read a newspaper. There's no fucking way this guy had a medical degree of any sort. And he just like walked over to the guy who was like clutching his neck and like choking on the floor. And they're like, ooh, that's a nasty clubbing violation. Bruh, that was attempted murder. What you fucking talking about? And anyway, that guy had to get up. They're like, we're going to give him all the time he needs here. He got up, right? And then he got his free slap because I think the clubbing violation was like so severe. And then the guy who was hitting him again chopped him again. Necked him again. And this guy, every single slap he did was a clubbing violation and he lost on points. And this guy's neck and face are all fucked up. He can't breathe. It was like the most ridiculous thing I've ever fucking seen. And people go to me like, there was a first-time chatter there just in the chat saying, oh, you shouldn't like this man, it's terrible, it's like all these dudes are going to get CTE and blah, blah. It's like, listen, dude, I've always been a libertarian at heart, right? If 2 dudes want to get into a room and fucking slap each other unconscious, I mean, by the way, the people that are agreeing to this type of thing, let's be real, they're not going to go home and fucking cure cancer, are they? So let's just let them do it, and if you want to watch, you watch, and if you don't, you fucking don't. But yes, let them fight. That's what I say. Yeah, they are going to get CTE, but I mean, listen, there's got to be a payoff. It's your body, your choice.
Clubbing is when you use your palm.
Yeah, you don't get a clean slap, and it's like you go in and you hit them in either in the wrong part of the head or with the wrong part of the hand. There's also stepping.
Is power slapping whoever could just fucking?
It's the same rules. Basically, Dana White saw the slap fight championship.
But it's really whoever can punch the other person without getting away with it with their palm.
Yeah. You stand there. Okay, you stand over traditionally over a barrel, and you put your hands. I mean, again, down by your side or
this entire time you could have helped make power slapping mainstream, and then you decided this fucking gaming shit instead.
Well, it's a new thing.
Power slapping is not owned by the Saudis. Why did you?
No, I know.
I
I even said this to them. I'm like, listen, I find myself adrift in esports. It's all owned by Saudi. I want to help build you up. I've been on Turner Sports. Here's a picture of me with Shaq. I'm legit. Come get me. I'll make your... Bro, I will fucking go ham for that. I will get back into Richard Lewis caster mode, and I will sell the shit out of it. Mark Coleman nearly died in a fire recently. He needs a break. You can hear it. He's not the same guy since he come back. You know Mark Coleman, the UFC dude? Yeah. Mark Coleman's come back, and he's like, he just grunts. So he doesn't even do analysis anymore.
Is he the main power slap caster? Commentator?
Yeah. I mean, he's just all over the place these days. I mean, the motherfucker did nearly die. By the way, like, great story. What a hero. He ran into his parents' house was on fire and they were inside. And he ran in, got both of his parents out of a burning fire, ran in to get the dog. Unfortunately, wasn't able to. Fell unconscious in the fire. Had burns all over his body. In a coma. And there's like a video of him like waking up, like crying, and I'm just so happy I saved my parents. And then he was back commentating on slap fights like 3 weeks later. Like, give this man a fucking break, homie. Get me in there. Tag me in for Mark. I'll do it for free. I'll be like Joe Rogan. I'll do the first 10 shows for free. Just tickets for my friends and maybe some meth if there's any going around, which I bet there is. And we'll fucking all have a good time.
I'm trying to look for the play-by-play guy, but, you know, with everything you said, you convinced me you could be color. You could be doing color.
Bro, I know all the rules.
Yeah.
I know all the rules, man. Know about flinching, know about stepping, know about clubbing.
Why do you know all this shit?
Bro, like, I legit watch it. I'm not... People think this is a bit, dog. I'm fucking... Listen, Hot Rod. Like, you got to get on this train. It's no joke. Like, let me right. There's a guy in it who he comes in.
What you should be pivoting to has been in front of your face all along. I would have never even guessed.
Oh, Poro's in the chat as well, man. Fucking long time no chat. Porosaurus. Got your play-by-play. See? This is what we should do. I should create a coalition of people that want to go and make slap fight championships the best fucking thing. Like, this is it. But by the way, right, they have a guy who comes in a luchador mask. Do you know what his name is?
What?
The Mexecutioner. Like, I'm in. This is the fucking shit. I'm in. Get me in. They had a guy. This is no joke. They've got a guy called White Simba. Right? He's got like really like platinum blonde hair. It might be an albino. I don't know.
Is it Mexecutioner from Liverpool?
No. Executioner is. You don't wear a luchador mask unless you've got Mexican heritage, bro.
What?
Right. Anyway, there's a guy called White Simba, right? And they asked him. It's one of the best interviews I've ever seen, and it's so like early esports because people just say wildly inappropriate shit all the time. So they interviewed White Simba, and the guy does the interviews is terrible. By the way, he's really weak. I could replace him for sure. And he goes like he goes, so White Simba, and this is like super early slap fight championships. So it's an interesting nickname. How did you get it? And he went, well, like, by the way, there's no like charismatic slap fight champions. Like there's barely functional, and it's that's like the far end, like of like. So he went, well, it's like the nickname comes from a term where if you are getting a blowjob, you take some ejaculate and you rub it onto the person's forehead like they do at the start of The Lion King. Hence, White Simba, right? And that's his answer in an interview. And I was just like, this is everything I've ever wanted. This is everything I ever wanted for esports. Please take me. Please take me. I will work for free. Please. Just let me be part of it. It's like the best, dude. It's like the only thing that like warms my heart anymore, Rod. Like I'm just miserable, just sat wallowing in my misery, watching esports die. Like again, I'm fully Viserys out of my mind. I've got my foot in a fucking cast that can barely walk at the minute. I'm fucking all that keeps me going is slap fighting champion. I love it.
There's like 3 or 4 influencer and gaming boxing organizations now. Have you ever thought about kind of pioneering like the influencer slap fighting game? I feel like you could get a whole different range of people. Yeah, no, you
Yeah.
could try to get them to be like, look, if you're too pussy to like get punched in the face, I promise you this won't be as bad. And they just don't. You just don't
No.
explain anything to them about like the context of how that's not the case. And then you get all these, other gamers, especially esports people, to agree, and just I feel like entertainment would flow.
I'll send you the like
You
the
could partner with either iDubbbz or Keemstar. I feel like these are two really
Keemstar.
good
Keemstar
choices.
hates me and you though, right?
I actually have a new truce.
Oh, okay, that's good.
We are in truce mode.
Okay, let's see it.
Um, I wouldn't say that we have a positive relationship,
Mm.
but
He's he's gonna
we've
leave
done
you
better.
alone.
We've done better than the Middle East has.
Okay, well,
Um,
that's
you know,
something, I guess.
and we were really far apart. You got to understand, as much as you two are, we have been more far apart than any other nation states
Mm.
and nation influencer states.
Yep.
Definitely Ethan went harder at him, of course, and for longer. But I have my own pretty significant. So this truce is it's a major step forward, I think, in peace talks. Influencer to influencer peace talks. I think that's a big moment.
So look, just to get back to slap fighting championships
Yeah.
for a bit, right?
Hmm.
Let me tell you, because I also do you remember Tim Sylvia?
Yep.
So Tim Sylvia is in. He competes in slap fighting now.
Great.
He's got, and he does it under the name because he's from Maine. The Maniac, Tim the Maniac Silver, right? So you got that. It is fucking rad. He was brought in as like the big bad, like the final fucking boss. Oh, we're getting real UFC fighters now, and but he just looks like, he put it this way, he looks so bad these days. He looks as if Bert Kreischer let himself go. It's that, in fact,
He's
hang
the
on.
bear then. Yeah, I'm looking now.
Yeah, let me just see if I can
The Maniac Silva versus
uh,
the Bouncer Slap Fight Championship. How
hold
many
on.
how many ex UFC guys?
Well,
Is
obviously
like is the best
Mark
power slap
Coleman
dude?
there he is. Look at the fucking state of that thumbnail there. It just looks like fucking Bert Kreischer after he's been drinking for like 4 or 5 days, having his wine on the fucking treadmill. But yeah, look at some of these names, dude. You got like Shamokin Thunderclap. Like, how can you not love this sport, dude? They got a competitor called Shamokin Thunderclap. Like, I'm in. Like, I'm all in on this. I love this stuff. They had this guy, by the way, who that came in. I think he's only had one fight that I saw, and he was a guy called Demon, and he came in, and he fucking was clearly tweaking. He just had sweat pissing out of his face, and and he's just.
Are performance enhancement drugs encouraged?
I mean, you couldn't drugs test the competitors in this. There's no way, dude. Like, there's no fucking way. And by the way, some of the guys are legit, like, and some of the legit ones, like Wolverine and Frank the Tank, I think they've gone over a power slap as well. I think they're like double dipping, and
Frank the Tank?
yeah, you know Frank the Tank.
Yeah, the Mets fan from Queens. Bro,
Uh,
that's my Frank the Tank. My
oh,
Frank the
okay.
Tank is a fucking really angry Mets dude who works for Barstool, okay? Who won't shut the fuck up every day about how his team sucks.
Oh,
This is
okay.
a
Well,
this is a
this is the real Frank the Tank. But dude, there was an interview. There was an interview where somebody, right, this guy came in, like this toothless, like skinny guy in like dungarees, and he said on camera, no joke, he said they said, oh, apparently you were in the special forces, the US special forces, right? There was no way on God's green earth. We just wanted to ask you a little bit more about that. And he went, well, I was in the kind of unit you can't really talk about publicly. We're a unit that it don't really officially exist or anything, so like I can't really talk about that aspect of my life, but just goes to tell you that we obviously went into some pretty gnarly places and did kill many enemies of the U.S., right? So total bullshit, like just your esports grade lies, right? And so anyway, partway through his fight, the commentator literally goes, there's no joke, the guy doing the commentary goes, and I did a bit of research into his claims that he served in the US forces, and we haven't been able to corroborate it anywhere. And actually, having talked to another fighter who is an actual Marine, he says that there is no way he served in any special forces unit. So I'm going to call out stolen valor here, sir. Stolen valor. It's stolen valor. It was like the funniest fucking thing, dude. I'll have to pull up the video and watch it on stream. It is so fucking good. Slap Fight Championship is the fucking best thing that has happened to me in years.
I'm fucking in. You have convinced the shit out of me.
You will love it.
I'm in.
It is a train wreck, Rod. Like we could run this shit as well. Imagine if like Joe Rogan has the fight companion, Big Dick in the Hot Rod, super slappers. It'd be fucking great. I'd kill for that. I fucking love that shit. I'm in.
You could teach me. I feel like you need another slapper with you to really get into the meat of the slapping.
What I'll do is I'll give you a crash course in slapology, right? Like I'll just give you like the best like fight cards to watch because Slap Fight Championships are pretty good. I think they had a deal with Triller at some point. I mean, like, you know, they were selling this shit, but anyway, they put out the cards like you know, for free on YouTube, and I've got some fucking like Slap Mountain, yeah. So I'll link you some of the fucking shit, and then trust me, you will watch 2 or 3 cards, and you will just not only be hooked, but you will totally understand. The beauty of it is its simplicity. It's the Counter-Strike of combat sports. It's easy to learn, difficult to master. So I'm just putting it out there. So yeah. Anyway, I think we've done it. We've filled an hour. That was like we can cut this into an audio podcast.
That was good. That was good.
See?
I can give some actual information, some reporting,
Ooh,
some reporting to confirm some of your discussion that you had earlier before I came on.
Okay.
Team Liquid tells me that they will be wearing their Pride jersey in their opening series tomorrow on stage, and they are permitted to wear it.
Absolute bumbucklottery of the highest order. This is like. Oh, fair enough. I guess you get to pat yourselves on the back while Saudi Arabian citizens are beaten and imprisoned and executed.
It's better than nothing. They're actually at least doing it. None of the other organizations are going to do it. I'm not saying that like Victor Nazgul's video wasn't completely self-serving. Okay, of course it is. Of course it is. Of course all the organizations here are complicit and, you know, needing this money because they're part of the reason why everything has failed. But it's better that they have done it than no one else is. The other teams aren't going to do that, I bet. And if they are permitted to do it, it would be an easy win. Just like in the NHL this past year, they used to have Pride Night.
Okay. I
believe every single year. And players had tape, which was usually a certain color. They had Pride tape that they put on the edge of their sticks, especially in warm-ups before the game starts. This year, the entire league disallowed any type of thing that you could put on the stick, and a lot of people took it as targeting Pride. So then individual teams just like did it themselves and like took a fine from the NHL, and it became a whole thing that didn't even need to be to begin with, because if they just allowed players to use the colored tape and use the Pride tape to begin with as the previous years, and you know their efforts actually gone pretty well, that they wouldn't have had to do that. Okay, I feel like this is definitely an own goal for other organizations.
I'll say this. Nobody should be compelled. Nobody should be compelled to wear any symbol they don't want to wear. Right? I mean, again, I'm a libertarian, right? Like, I mean, so like
that is true. I'm sure that the players do not have a choice, or I don't know if the players have a choice. I have not been made aware. I'm sure they're being encouraged, all of them, to wear it.
Yeah.
The League of Legends team is first up. If they had a problem with a player, should we speak out and say they didn't want to do this?
Well,
I don't know. At this point,
I mean, put it this way: there is a minute risk to the people wearing it, right? So I think players should definitely be given the choice. And I think it's really distasteful because here's the thing. Even if they do wear it, what changes? Like, what have you achieved? Why are they not even thinking? You see, the reason they're doing it is, again, to shield themselves from criticism. They're not doing it because they want to advance pride causes in Saudi Arabia.
You don't think it's sincere at all? It's purely a...
They get to turn around and say,
opportunistic.
We took the stand.
It's purely
but you know what? You know what will be the loudest part of the messaging? They'll say, we took the stand, but this proves that Saudi Arabia is making progress. And then they're going to fly home at the end of the 8 weeks, and then gay people, trans people in Saudi are going to continue to be persecuted, have to live their lives in secret, being arrested, potentially being executed for deviant lifestyles. So, cool for you, Liquid. You get your little bragging point. You get to win the Twitter argument. You get to go, haha, take that, Richard Lewis. But what have you actually achieved? And the answer is nothing. So, yes.
Grand scheme of things, of course it is nothing. But if the bar is so low on the ground and the bare minimum is 0, then at least they're at like 10%. No? Or is it? Do you truly think that it is only an opportunistic thing, and they could even get negative points because they're not even doing this for the right
because
reason?
I know how this works. Watch out for them.
You know, Steve. Steve is the only openly gay owner, I believe, that we have.
No, he wasn't openly gay until he literally came out publicly for Saudi, which is fucking crazy.
That is true. He did do that. I feel like that shows, some true conviction. I don't think he did that only. As
let's start a TikTok trend, Rod. Out for Saudi, yeah? Let's do it. Hey, Saudis, are you with me? Who's gay in the room? Yeah, brilliant. That'll fucking work.
You don't truly believe he only came out now in the context of this event happening as a way to shield from criticism?
I do.
You don't think he did this to show support for his community and, for this initiative?
Nope.
Come on, Richard.
No. But he's never done it before. He didn't do it when he went down when he was down in Texas, grandstanding as if fucking the US is, in any way, shape, or form comparable to what the Saudi Arabian state is doing to gay people. He didn't in trans people. He didn't fucking do it then. Would have been a perfect time. Look, I'm like, listen, I've got a vested interest. I'm standing with my community. What I hate about this is, you see, I'm from a world where, right, I lived in some absolute shitholes growing up. Like I lived in some of the roughest, poorest areas in Britain, and I did it not once but twice. As in, I've lived in 2 of the top 10 worst areas to live in Britain. Right? Great. And we moved to one of them.
Yeah, that's why you're
from the other
fucking expert, okay?
Exactly, dude. I mean, seriously, if we'd had Power Slap in Middlesbrough, maybe the town would have been saved. But anyway, right? So listen, we had it drilled into us like this is what it is to be working class. And you always stand by your people. You stand by your community. And fuck the wealthy and fuck the politicians and fuck all the people that would try and divide us and fuck Thatcher and all the Thatcherites and all the Tory scum, right? And anybody that went against that, and many people did, right? They were called working class traitors. They were called traitors. Now, if you betray the interests of your community by letting foxes into the hen house, let's say, right? Well, then how do I get to go back to that community and go, hey, embrace me. I've got our interests at heart. Don't worry about that. I mean, I would put it to you, most LGBT people around the world find what Saudi does distasteful at best. And I don't think they think they're making progress. Why are we even talking about it through that lens? Progress. It's progress to let people live their lives in private. It's progress to let lovers, partners hold hands in public. Which, by the way, you can't do. It's progress to not execute people for being gay. It's progress. Like, progress from what? What is the starting point? What are we talking about?
They're just kind of like mainstream liberals. I still feel like they are sincere, that they believe they are making a difference. They feel that their actions and in their position within the context of like Team Liquid here, whether it's Steve and Victor as the owners in terms of Steve coming out now around EWC and Victor, being one of the only owners to do like a long video, as much as you want to think about.
Yeah, no, I've said that. Fair enough.
Believe that they are making a difference. Are they actually? And does this have any actual progress? No.
No.
Okay. Yes.
And what they're indulging in is they are getting special exemptions from Saudi laws that Saudi Arabian people will not. And this is the classic thing that sports washing thrives on. This is what they did with the Argentinian World Cup, where they literally on the walls that enclosed the slums, they were that worried about the global perception about the state Argentina was in after the junta, they fucking painted nice houses onto the walls, so when you flew in it looked like it was fucking in a good state. And that is what's happening here is the equivalent of that. Because you watch what they'll do. They'll market it, mate. They'll have to. They will have to publicly say, oh, like they're doing with the They Drive now, thanks Sam Matthews, right? What they're doing, what they will have to do.
Is that where it's from? Don't tell me that's where it's from.
I mean,
I thought it was a thing.
It's like it's been going on for ages, but Sam Matthews unironically said it to me. So anyway, the reality is that they are going to then turn around and go, we were honored to wear the rainbow in Riyadh for the first time. It's historic. And we hope this shows that our new business partners are interested in progress and our ideals. And then they're going to go away for a year and probably spend their 3 months in Qadiyah, which may or may not be another contractual aspect they have to fulfill. And then they are going to fucking turn around and ignore when we get reports coming out of Riyadh that more gay people have been imprisoned. Where are they going to be then? Is Steve, while he's there posing with that statue of the World Cup trophy,
this will have negative repercussions? It will not have a positive.
I believe it will have no repercussions. It is a classic esports gesture. It is meaningless. It is meaningless. And because here's the thing: if Steve, instead of posing with that fucking trophy, right? If he went and visited, why not go to a prison where the women's rights activists and gay influencers are? Maybe they did. Maybe they fucking did. Maybe they did. And maybe Tim Sylvia had a fucking salad this morning. Yeah, maybe, mate. May fucking be bollocks. Complete nonsense. And so, that's the problem I have with it. That's the problem I have with it. That even if they do it, how does it move the dial for gay people in Saudi Arabia? And it just doesn't at all. But they'll act like it did. But the more insidious component is they will then use it to say to the fucking ignorant, well, see, Saudi Arabia is a totally normal place, and they're definitely making forward progress. Don't believe all of that stuff. By the way, if you want, you can show me progress tomorrow. MBS can just come out and go, it's no longer punishable by death. Because they hide behind, oh, we have the laws, but we never enforce it. And then they did. Last year with, it was 22, I think, where they had the largest mass execution.
Isn't there a world where, this news can proliferate enough to get, not that the Saudi state really gives a shit about media. Well, I actually do think they care about media approval. They obviously are not big fans of criticism.
Well, I was going to say, yeah,
But
they definitely care about media approval, mate. Because if if you point out all the shit they do, they fucking carve you up like a Christmas turkey. So yeah, they definitely care.
For all those normie, video game and or sports journalists that work at like big publications, they want those guys to because you remember that CNN article that came out last year? That really looked like they bought that whole fucking thing.
They almost certainly did.
That was a really interesting piece for CNN of all places, and it was just I really think that they want that. Maybe if like Liquid wears it, and then it could get picked up, and then it could like circulate, and then it could be used as a way to try to push them. There's a small chance it could be used for some positive good and not just a self-fulfilling bullshit for the team to hide behind.
I mean, put it this way:
I'm trying not to look at this completely cynically.
You have
even
to,
like
because it is completely cynical. The whole thing is cynical. I mean, look, Pride Month. I hate to say this, but it's because you have to know it. Pride Month is in and of itself a cynical exercise.
No corporate entities use Pride Month at all. That is purely an organic movement by the people,
right. So
people and for their community.
Yeah,
okay?
so the clamor, the rush to get out the fucking rainbow flag on the 1st of fucking June. We love the gays. And then they do that, and then like, but by the way, it shouldn't even be a month. I mean, listen, I'm bisexual. I'm in the fucking alphabet club, and I've said it. Like, we do not win hearts and minds with some of the shit we pull. Like,
you guys thought the name of this show was theoretical,
yeah,
or symbolic? No, okay, this is real life.
So, I think fucking, a week, great. And a month of grandstanding from corporations is too much to endure. But here's the point. It's like, it's bullshit to fucking begin with. And then you take that bullshit and then you even make it more cynical and more bullshit by selectively applying it. And it's like, what are we doing any of it for? What are we doing any of it for at this point? I mean, I had an argument with a Team Liquid executive. I'm saying executive. I think they just do the media stuff. And they were like saying, oh, but it's all you're doing by highlighting our hypocrisy is making people less likely to support pride causes. Performative pride does more damage to pride causes than no pride at all. Fact. Take it to the bank. I know. I've seen what it leads to. And it leads to you get fucking you get, first of all the people in the community are really jaded and don't believe anyone's going to have their back, and even there's a very strong subset of the LGBT community that even reject all of that pride stuff now. They just look at it when it comes and they go, oh, fuck off. I'll probably count myself in them. But then also the performative pride aspect is where the bigots come out. And what the bigots get to do is they get to leverage your performance to point and say, look, they don't believe anything. They're forcing this on you. It's the Rainbow Mafia are coming to get you. And look, and they don't believe in anything. They don't even believe in their own bullshit. And the bigots are posing as like I'm just asking questions guy. But what they're doing is they're using it to say to people who are neutral about the issue, oh yeah, it is all performative nonsense. Fuck the Rainbow Mafia, I guess. And suddenly they're winning hearts and minds to homophobia and bigotry. And so performative pride gives ammunition to people that actually want the abolition, probably, of homosexuality and trans people to begin with. So performative pride is dangerous. Performative pride is bad. And should be stopped. It's your silence is better.
Okay, so I'm going to tweet out that Team Liquid told me this, and then you're going to quote tweet it and say this is bad.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. That's episode 3, is it then? Got episode 3 set up.
Yes. Well, we don't have content because this fucking tournament's a month and a half long, Richard.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
It can't even get away from it.
Yeah, and then it runs into the awards as well. Don't forget.
Wait, does it?
Yes. They're having 2 ceremonies. They've got the Esports Awards in Riyadh.
Oh, I didn't know there was double. I didn't know there's a double dip. Okay,
Yeah.
cool, cool,
Yeah.
cool, cool, cool.
So get this. It's going to be August 24th. So, I mean, the whole... When does the World Cup finish? It's like August... Is it August 25th?
Sounds about right.
Yeah,
I think so.
So basically the last 2 days are the Esports Awards in Riyadh. And so how are we having... It doesn't even work. We're having awards in August for 2024? Like, it's still like a quarter of the year to go.
Say what you want about Jeff Keighley. He knows how to pack that shit in December so that you could at least get the awards wrong.
Yeah, and this is the hilarious thing. Did you not even see this? They didn't... So, the Journalist of the Year award, a.k.a. the Khashoggi Award for excellence in reporting, they don't even...
Do you like that? Are you a fan of that? Thumbs up?
They don't even announce it as part of the main award anymore. Do you know where they're doing the Journalist Award this year for the Esports Awards? If they do one at all. It's going to be in their London event at the end of the year.
That's a shame. I really feel like we should try to push that through.
I don't want them to do a Journalist Award anymore. I've told them that. I told them that because, again, you don't... I
really think, this could be my year, considering everything. I feel like this would be maybe a great time to go for the first time.
Dude, come on. Fuck off. One good story isn't enough. You've got to be like me. You've got to be a freight train and just fucking pump out the bangers nonstop.
I mean, I got some guys on me.
I mean, I'm done now. I'm washed. I don't care. I don't even care if I get nominated.
I'm not talking about...
I've told them if they nominate me, I'm going to reject the nomination publicly.
I got some meat on me.
True.
Yeah, we do slap.
Yeah, we'll get you to the fucking power.
That's the real power.
The dick slap, yeah, the dick slap championship.
So,
but anyway, you don't even know this. So get this right. On the day that they announced their partnership with the Esports World Cup, they kicked me out of the Discord. Right, which I'd been in. I'd already said I'm not.
So cool.
I'm already said I wasn't gonna be part of it anymore. But I like keeping in touch with the people in there. But the overlords, remember these totally non-biased awards. The overlords demanded I was kicked out, so out I go. Right, so they kicked me out of a Discord I've just been on for years. Helped guide all of their metrics and values and how we do things. I was on the panel about the small council of people that actually give time to craft the awards and make. That's how I get rewarded. Just not even a goodbye, not even a Richard, we need to remove you. No words, nothing. Kicked off. Boom. Then follow that up. They when I looked at the Lifetime Achievement Award pages, they'd remove me. For real. And I tweeted it out publicly, and they fixed it within seconds.
Oh, good. It was an accident.
100%. That I was the only one missing. And they even came to me and said, well, I went to them and was like, fucking lol, guys, this is pathetic. And they said, oh, no, it's because you were on the panel, you had a different type of account, and it was a indexing issue. It was like, all right, yeah. I said this. I said, it's sad to see you debase yourselves like this, guys. And
these are your people, Rich.
Well, yeah, right. So
these are your people.
And now they just haven't announced the journalism award, and they're saying, oh, we're doing that because it's going to be in London, and you need more time to get stories or whatever. My advice to them, because I'll still talk civilly to them despite everything. My advice to them is this. Do not have a Journalist of the Year award anymore. It's in such poor taste that a Saudi state-owned entity would award journalism. I can't imagine any serious journalist would even accept the award if they won it. I can't imagine James Fudge accepting the award. And by the way, spoiler, if anyone should be winning it in 2024, it's him. Right? I can't see Kevin Hitt accepting an award, esports Saudi state award.
James has probably by far the most amount of individual pieces.
Yeah,
it's
it's
pretty far ahead of everybody.
He runs an entire publication by himself. I mean,
yeah.
His work this year has been excellent. And if I was giving out the award, it would be him. But I will bank on, if they even nominate him, he will say I don't want the nomination. I if I get nominated, I'm gonna decline the nomination. I don't even want to be nominated. Don't put me on your awards. I don't want you using my fucking picture. I don't want nothing. Like, history's history. You can't I keep me on your lifetime achievement awards, whatever, next to Mark Merrill. Fucking clown show. But at the end of the day, they should stop the journalist award. They should discontinue it. It just opens them up to criticism. I mean, think about it from their perspective. How easy it is to just say, doesn't the Saudi Arabian state kill journalists? Sir, I have a question. By the way, what have I spent my year doing? It's all Saudi. Pretty much every story I've written about has been about this. So,
and that's how it should be, honestly. Like, this is the main thing that,
this is the battle of our time.
If you're really concerned about the industry, this is what you should be talking about most of the time.
I agree,
for sure.
But yeah, so I'm gonna,
but as a 0-time winner of the award, I never cared about it that much.
Yeah, well, obviously, like, everyone hates awards until they fucking win one. I mean, dude, like, I won't lie. It meant a lot to me. The Lifetime Achievement Award, especially. I'm the only journalist to have one.
Well, at this point, it's just like, how many can you get? Okay, I'm just rooting for you to keep piling them on.
Well, I'll never win another now. So, and by the way, I mean, probably what someone like Last Free Nation should do, or it could be yourself. You can talk to your streamer friends. We should create a rival awards.
Oh, that's what we need, another award show.
Yes.
No,
but I
love it.
One,
yes, that's for sure.
Completely free from any Saudi influence. And if you take the Saudi bag, you can't even be nominated. And we can call it the No Bag Awards. And it's just for good people that did good fucking work in the space. True meritocracy being awarded by actual experts instead of, we've got to give Mark Merrill a Lifetime Achievement Award, or maybe he won't go and then Riot might not be there. All right, cool. Yeah,
I am totally down if we and the whole front-facing portion of the industry is not included at all.
Okay.
There's no fucking journalist of the year. There's no fucking caster of the year. There's no fucking commentator of the year. There's no host of the year. Get rid of all that dumb shit. I don't fucking care. With all due respect to all of my friends and colleagues around the year about how great your fucking work is, okay? All I want to do is argue about who's the fucking best FPS player at this time, all right? It's why we should be all here. Everyone is jaded as fuck about esports, and no one actually wants to watch the tournaments of the games anymore.
Yeah.
May or may not include someone on this call right now.
For sure. Both of us, really.
No. Okay. Have you not seen? I was already arguing last week. I was in Fion's replies. I know he only tweets date and noob bait or whatever, okay? But I was make sure I was in there fucking owning everyone on who is the best FPS player of all time and the top 5 greatest North American esports players of all time. Like, we could do a whole fucking hour and a half on that shit, because I would rather argue about shit of, like, who is the GOAT, Jordan or LeBron or Kareem or Wilt or whatever for like 2 hours than talk about fucking some streamers, or even talk about
which is all fair. That's all valid.
Who wrote the best like articles? I don't fucking give a shit. Okay, I don't fucking care. I mean, it's great. I love your guys' work, and I read it, and I'll always support it, and I'll watch it, and I'm gonna produce it. But that doesn't matter. Okay, let's talk about the games and the players and the teams.
Okay,
the fucking orgs that are abusing the system.
How would you feel about if we brought the alternative awards that I do, the Gonzo Awards, where it just celebrates the worst of esports?
Yes.
What if we brought that to life like the Razzies, and we had it like in a real building where people were encouraged to attend if they were up for the awards?
It would just be like all of esports, though.
Yeah, but like,
the winner of the Razzies is the industry.
Yeah, but like, I mean, obviously, people do fucking go to the Razzies now. I'll show you the cover, the splash page I've got for the awards. Hang on, I'll just send it to you on Discord so you can look. But basically, the categories are worst event of the year, worst decision of the year, most irritating fanboys of the year, most pointless e-drama of the year, wasted opportunity of the year, the Riot Games Award for great games balance and development. You like that one? Worst promotion of the year.
Honestly, that needs to be changed to Blizzard.
Yeah, probably now, yeah. Worst LAN performance of the year. Worst manager, which I'll change that to executive probably for 2024. Worst executive of the year.
We got to throw worst coach of the year, too. There's some good choices.
See, the coach, how it's been done historically with the Gonzo Awards is all coaches, managers, and executives have all been folded into that one award. But okay, we can add worst coach of the year. And then the last one is biggest scam of the year.
Ooh.
So, I mean...
That's always a tough competition.
Yeah, in esports, you're fucking right, homie. So, I mean, I literally gave those awards out this year. I was nice enough to not tag people in them. But imagine doing it in a room. And, like, you might get one or two people there.
And see, the whole point of my involvement is that we are expanding all the awards to all the other games that you don't watch or give a shit about. But I will encode them so that we have multiple losers. We have the loser competition needs to be fierce and strong. And you can't just do that within, let's say, Counter-Strike, okay? Yeah. You need to include the losers of Valorant and Call of Duty and Dota and League of Legends and the FGC because they're losing all the fucking time, all right? And it really needs to be, like, competitive for the biggest losers of the year. There's only so many Hooksies.
Yeah, true.
You know?
True.
Like, I'm sure he fit the bill for a lot of the answers. I did read this.
But yeah, so, I'm serious. Let's make it happen. Let's do an alternative award show. Because I agree. I hate all the fucking fart huffing that comes at the end of a year. Everyone makes that same tweet, don't they, at the end of the year, where it's going, reflecting on everything I achieved in 2024. I did this and I did that and I did this and I want to thank all my great friends in the industry. It's like, we're in the fucking toilet. Our industry stinks and you're part of the fucking reason. Fuck you. I don't give a fuck.
I love it. I'm totally down. I do have to say, the way you intro it, as in maybe us and like Last Free Nation, just considering some things, I have a feeling there might be some difficulties at the onset of.
Well, this can just be an us thing. You can go and reach out to all your wealthy streamer friends. You can go out.
I feel like there just might be some conflict and some friction.
Yeah, for sure.
I like the direction you're going in, Richard. I think that is a good one. I just can foresee some potential problems.
Yeah, I think this will just be an us thing. We'll just do it. You reach out to your rich streamer friends.
Okay.
That have been keeping you afloat.
As of right now, that is honestly one of the best options, I think. I think right now getting some rich streamer to give money for stuff is better than the alternatives.
Tell Shroud, if he funds it, we'll create a most overrated player of the year award in his honor. Right? And it's like the Shroud Award for overratedness. And
I actually don't think that's deserved. I do not think that was deserved. That Cloud9 team, maybe he got a lot of... He never lived up to expectations, for sure, and that Cloud9 team never, won championships. But there were still some really good memories of them playing well, against
when he
Fnatic
stood in for Sentinels, the Valorant subreddit had Zoomers unironically saying, it's great to see a GOAT of FPS, a GOAT from Counter-Strike come and play in our game.
Okay, as someone who watched the matches, I watched those games and was talking to people. There were two things. One, it was basically told to me that Shroud was inserted into the lineup without the knowledge or agreement of the players at the time, because the Southerners organization, the Shroud signing is one of the most engaged, viewed tweets they've ever made in their entire history of the organization. So the signing was pushed through by ownership without the players agreeing on the team. And two, he actually is not why they lost. I swear, because I was talking with Sean Garris about this because we were watching the games. He did not play so bad. There were other reasons like Shazam shitting the bed and Ten's not really playing well as the really direct reasons they were not winning.
Who was that kid who absolutely fucking
Stroud
cooked him?
in this support role, it really wasn't his fault.
I can't
It wasn't
remember,
his
but
fault.
there was a kid that absolutely fucking cooked him. They were like, Shroud was like 0-12 in duels against him on
Who
one
did
map, and I can't fucking remember who it
did
was.
they lose to in
Yeah,
that?
it's like feels like so long ago. The thing is, you have to forget about Valorant for like 6 months out of the year 'cause there's just nothing happening. It's just like I know I was all down to fucking really get into Valorant, but it's like the circuit is ass. Like what do I even do?
I believe it was the guard game. I mean, he
Yeah,
honestly did
that's it.
not. I mean, looking at the stats, his stats were pretty bad. Just from the eye test, it didn't seem like it was all his fault, though.
Bro,
Um,
it's
like
like,
he actually even top fragged in the one series that they won. Yeah, he was really at the bottom for both the other series. What we're talking like negative in the negative 20s in terms of KD. So look, not great, but just from watching, it really felt like the other his other teammates were letting things happen. I couldn't just blame him for why they lost. I actually don't really feel like he got hugely popular. Okay, he got so popular when he was on C9 that yeah, there were the expectations became really high, and there's also like this like new prodigy. Let's see what he could do if he could like bring NACS a championship. Um, but I never felt like they underperformed. I don't think they underperformed so hard that you could consider that way. I think Shroud's always gotten a little bit too much of the criticism then. I don't think he was the main reason they were losing then too. Jordan wasn't playing up to his potential, I don't think either. And
sure, but
they needed nothing really to drive that team and to because you know Sean is calling and I think they had Freakazoid as the other like big support player. It was up to like it really was up to Jordan and I guess Shroud to make things happen. They had moderate success against like that Fnatic team that was dominant so much then. I have fond memories about that C9 team.
oh,
Anyway,
we all have fond memories. We all had high expectations, and yet, as viewers can see, I've sneakily brought up some stats while you were talking, Rod. As viewers can see, Shroud flopped at every major he played at. So, I mean, put it this way: like, can he frag out of his mind in a pug? Yeah, many such cases in NA. But when it comes to having to beat disciplined European teams with structure and high level communications, NA teams just shit the bed. He's lit. He's lit. He's lit. He's lit. He's lit. If you don't get like some super sick fucking spray down or clutch, like these teams historically fucking struggled. They just
how many
they
NA
weren't on the
players
same
really
level
had
at all.
how many NA players had good stats prior to the Boston major? Because NA was getting their fucking shit pushed in every single major. All of the teams, Complexity, EG, and theirs, and you know any of the Steel teams, they all lost. They were all getting destroyed.
Yeah,
It
but
didn't feel like
this is the other thing that
Cloud9 actually were getting like the closest. They were the ones that made us
sure.
believe even a little bit that they could make things happen. It really wasn't until like and Hiko and then the eventual
Bro,
Boston team.
if you reel off all of the names of great NA players in CS:GO, you are just reeling off a list of essentially the game's underachievers. There's the ones that are legit.
Because every major they were losing.
Yeah, but it's not even that. It's like it's just in general, like commensurate to their talent. What did they actually win? And it's not very much. Like outside of that Liquid team, where it's like put it this way. I was talking the other day about how Stubby 2K could be like a third or fourth ballot Hall of Famer. I'm gonna revise that opinion actually because while I think he played in some great teams and obviously won a major, NA's major, played in that with Cloud9, played in that Liquid Grand Slam team. He's never been. I don't think there was 1 year he was ever in the top 20 as a player. Like for me, Elise,
He wasn't the bus driver.
yeah, for me, Elise.
You're a Barkley guy. He needs to be the bus driver. I actually agree too.
Yeah, I like Elise and Twists. I'll talk about. Obviously, Canadians count in the North American conversation. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking about
we
Shroud.
kind of need them. We
Yeah,
kind of need them.
yeah. So I would say Elise and Twists. I think I'm talking about NAF before I'm talking about any of like your Skadoodles, your Shrouds.
So NAF is before Stewie. You have NAF third.
Yeah, probably actually.
it, it's basically, I agree with your chat. It's a Liege and then Twist, and then there's a big gap. And I think you can make strong arguments for Liege or Twist. Twist has gone on to have such a more successful career in an international team like FaZe that if a Liege had ever just decided to leave and maybe have tried that in like a G2 or something, maybe he would have been winning a lot more. But he's stuck to his guns and tried to make the North American majority teams work.
That isn't
Had the
what he
harder
was
road.
doing. He stuck
Well,
to being a princeling in Team Liquid, where he could call the shots for everything until the org essentially got sick of it because it was effectively promoting a lack of success. And now he's
he
gone
still
to
had a harder
complexity.
road.
He's gone to complexity, and
He's had worse teams. Twist has been on
sure.
better teams. He's been on better
Yeah,
teams.
because he was willing to move to those better teams instead of he chose potential success over control, which is why it's sad to hear now at Team Liquid he's thinking he's going to be the IGL and he didn't give that Cadian lineup a chance and all of that stuff. That's kind of where we're at. But I mean, look, like Shroud, to your point, Shroud wouldn't be in like he's not even in a serious like discussion about top 5 NA, top 10 NA.
Yes, but that's what I mean. That I think that him being, it's either he was such a massive disappointment, which is possible, but I kind of see it as he was never supposed to be like the next like great NA hope. I know it was presented that way.
Yeah.
I know it was because it coincided with his blow up as like a personality streamer content creator. But I think those two things got conflated rather back then.
Everyone in NA said this
because
guy,
he got so popular, they just expected him to fucking lead NA to a major championship. I never thought that was realistic.
Every NA player said this guy, like, and they're still doing it now. I mean, again, I got a video on my YouTube channel where it's like, I think it was Freakazoid, Ryan, you know, I'm friends with, right? But like, he said that he would, like, Shroud was better than Simple in terms of raw talent, and he would have like rather played Shroud more.
That was not helping. Okay, that statement did not.
Everyone in NA swore blind that Shroud was like some phenom talent. And it's like, was he? Not really. He was just a naturally gifted aimer, but that definitely had some performance issues when it came to big, important games. Like, you could chew up motherfuckers in games that didn't matter. But whenever it was on the fucking line, Shroud would, you know, typically underperform. I mean, again, me and Duncan were doing by the numbers at the time. It felt like every time we threw in our lot for an NA squad and said, oh, you know, they could be dark horses. The only time we were right was Boston, where we literally called it going in. If you want a dark horse pick to win the major in Boston, pick Cloud9. And then they went 0-2 to 3-2, and then 0-2 and 3-2 again, I think. You know, yep. and then all the way to winning it. It was like it's a Cinderella run like no other. And by the way, just not something the old Cloud9 lineups would have been capable of at all. And obviously relied heavily on a big phase choke.
That Boston lineup was much better than the old lineup.
Agreed.
It was upgraded at pretty much every position, and you know, it was the perfect. Even though they could have went 0-3 and out, and none of this would have mattered at all. Like that Cloud9 lineup, as much as I like and love the tank top era of C9,
same.
The Boston version is so much better on paper and players and coaching and everything.
Well, when I did some content, which you might want to watch it, Rod, you might find it interesting. We did a series of like, it's basically like a run of podcasts where I created an imaginary LAN of all the best teams in CSGO called Time Travel LAN. And it's like me, Moses, Sponge, and Thorin, and we all go through and we all cast our votes who would have won in these theoretical matchups until we crown the greatest team of all time. It's pretty good. It's the most underappreciated content. We put loads of effort and time into it. It's really interesting conceptually, and the VODs get 20,000 views. It's just waste of time. Just classic. People in esports claim they want good content, but they don't. They want drama. But anyway, we didn't even I don't even know if we had the Boston Cloud9 in the top 16.
because they weren't even really supposed to get past like the group stage. Like
Yeah.
it was such an incredible, true Cinderella run at home for the first ever North American major win. It was like it's still to this day the most perfect major run. I mean, of course, I'm biased as an American and a
Yeah,
CS
sure.
fan,
No, dude,
tortured fan,
everyone was
obviously.
crying in Boston because we realized we'd seen something like amazing. Like E-League, all the E-League execs were like welling up. They couldn't believe we got like the perfect story. Like it was insane. It's like you couldn't have scripted it better. Like, you know. So I
Yeah, the
mean,
comeback on Inferno,
yeah,
just the players involved, like it was, yeah, that magic will not be captured again. I mean, it's coming. The major will be coming back to America, to Austin. I mean, anything like who knows? Who knows? I think that's actually one of the problems with all the majors and esports a little bit is it's been everyone keeps doing these international events, but no one understands that maybe with the exception of like ESL Cologne, this isn't Wimbledon and the US Open that have 100 years of like legacy or the French Open or whatever. If
no.
you host a tournament in a new place or a certain region, and then you can't guarantee that that team from that region is gonna like play on the stage because the only people that they can afford to have on the main stage is like the six teams or whatever. You know, when you're in Copenhagen and Astralis and Heroic are out, it's like, what was the point of doing this?
Yeah.
So if we get to the Austin Major and there's no NACS team that plays like in the quarterfinals on, I think it's a waste of fucking time and effort. I know you can't rig like the tournament so that the host country gets to play like in front of the crowd, but it really feels like we've failed in terms of the format. If we cannot get at least one time that you know if you buy a ticket you can watch the favorite team that you like.
Well,
It seems like we're not doing it right if
no,
that can't happen.
yeah, another problem with the esports product and why it's broken